Okay, it's been a couple of days since I worked on this, and I'm trying to decide what to do. This over here, I believe, is going to be my focal point, which is right here. And in the morning when I'm tired and I don't want to do a whole lot, I try to start on small areas. Is my head in the way? On small areas. I hope you can see this okay. My cameraman's not saying anything, so I have no idea if my head's in the way. I'm mixing some colors up right now, and I'm going to start really slow. I like some of the highlights that are happening on these tomatoes, and I'm lightly just moistening the paper. I have a mix of alizarin crimson and aureolin, and also a little bit of lemon yellow, and I want to maintain as many of the whites as I can. Hopefully you can see this okay, and my cameraman could tell me if this is okay. Can I? Hey, cameraman.
Yes.
Thank you. It's always good to have a support person. And I don't want to go through too much detail here. Sometimes cherry tomatoes are kind of red and they're pink. I also use a color called opera, and that is one of my favorite colors. It's a kind of hot pink type of thing. And I'm just kind of putting that color in there. I didn't even wet the paper that much on that one. And when you're working with complementary colors like the red and the green, it's a great thing because it'll pop that section of your painting. I always like to keep complementary colors in my paintings. I'll just start with some aureolin mixed in with a little bit of alizarin crimson, and I'm not using a whole lot of pigment here. I'm also going to put a dark in here, a green. And that's a little indicator for me that I need to be aware of some value changes there. All right, my cameraman's telling me I have to back my head up. I hope that's better. How's that look? Better? Okay, we're moistening the paper, and some artists will moisten like an entire area like I'm doing here and bleed the color through, lay in the color and let it work its way through. I tend to be a little bit more hesitant. See, I think that's too much to start with. I'm just putting in initial washes right now. A lot of cherry tomatoes. We can make them all different colors. Okay. Trying not to overdo the saturation of these. Mixing some more aureolin because I want somewhere to go with this. I'm going to be doing multiple washes and do a little bit of yellow here. My yellow seems kind of, I don't know. Hey, there's that tissue. I'm going to put in some lemon yellow, I think, and then mix in some painting on the paper and letting the paint mix on moistened paper. I tend to use the word moistened as opposed to wet paper because I've seen students in my class, when I say wet your paper, I mean the paper is literally drenched. And the technique I teach does not involve drenched paper. As I say, we're not washing socks here. We're doing a painting. And we'll put a bit of yellow here. And my yellow still is looking a little dirty to me. It's probably got some green mixed in there, which I don't really need right now. But no cherry tomato is perfect. Just ask a farmer. The colors are getting a little bit deeper. Not sure I want that. And we're going to moisten that and bring that aureolin down, and then we're going to throw a little bit of green in here. How's it going, cameraman? I hear an mm-hmm. I guess we're doing okay. You don't have to cover every single piece of paper with color. That's another thing I tell my students. You don't have to put color everywhere. You know, depending on what you're working on, there's always that caveat. Depending on what you're working on, you know, why cover it completely? I like to leave a little white in, a little sparkle, I call it. So there are my cherry tomatoes. At least this is the start. You can see there's a whole lot of cherry tomatoes here. So we're going to try to vary colors. Let's see. Let's go and do this guy here. I hope you like cherry tomatoes as much as I do. I find they're really handy for all kinds of salads, cooking. I put them in pasta sauce. I grill them. Now, this is not a cooking show, but we can talk about food since, hey, it's one of my favorite topics. I'm just basically putting color in. I'm going to grab a tissue right now. And that's all I'm doing for these cherry tomatoes. I should be wetting them, I suppose, wetting the paper. But again, I kind of paint wet. Sometimes I paint dry. It's a give and take with watercolor. Okay. And we try to do some variety here. Now the washes will take care of a lot of this. I don't want to go too intensive to start with, but that's how I'm going to do most of these cherry tomatoes. And let's stop for now and we'll go to the next section.